Hello, everyone, and welcome into today's episode of Jason Adams' Junk in the Trunk, episode 2. I'm already in such a crazy mood this morning, and yes, it's early, and the birds are singing me a beautiful song, and I wanted to do another episode today. So when I went out to the flea market the other day, I always tell people it's not always necessarily a win every time I go, but most of the time it is, because I'm so well known out there that people will save things for me. And even on a slow day, there will be things to buy. So you might ask yourself, why do you have a crumpled up McDonald's bag in your car? Well, just wait. You won't want to miss what's in here. And then there's another tray off to the left-hand side. And then there's a lot of really beautiful things on the inside of this box. So I hope you stay with me. Let me get a little bit more situated. And yes, I have my morning coffee as well. So yum, yum, scrumdiddlyumptious. So let me get situated, because I am, at 51 years old, I am perched up on the back of the hatch of my vehicle. So this is out in my car, and here we go. So today, I guess I should say during the recording of this today, this is all I found out at the flea. And it's not a stale McDonald's sandwich. It's absolutely some treasures. And let me make sure I have all of them out of there before I throw that bag away. Do you know, one time, I will tell you guys a secret. Don't ever put your jewelry in a napkin, a paper towel, a crumpled up newspaper, an empty paper bag. I did throw away a very small gold ring one time, but I bought it at the flea market for it was like $10, and it was worth $100 in gold at the time, and I actually threw it away. Then there was another time when I had wrapped things in a paper towel or a piece of newspaper, and sure enough, I left it at somebody else's booth. I just set it down, and then I saw the lady the next week, and I said, hey, do you still have I think I put my jewelry down in your thing. And she said, you absolutely did. I thought it was mine, and I sold it to another person. So please don't ever set your stuff down, and be very mindful when you're at the flea market. And if you are distracted, just don't go. Just go on another day. So you're starting to see some of the treasures. I've had these a million times. They're sometimes called ocean treasures. They're those mother of pearl, gold-plated sterling silver. I have the brooch to it as well, but these are just the earrings. Normally these sell for around $35 to $45. Those were $1, so those were a win. And this is all I bought, by the way. This was one trip to the flea market, and some people say, do you buy a ton of stuff? How do you negotiate? This and that. I'll take you on a live feed sometime, but you know how I don't like the camera in between me and someone I'm shopping with or spending the day with, or I don't like the camera in the face of the people I'm doing business with. It's just disrespectful. It's just very invasive. It's very disrespectful. I know it's great for content, but again, I don't base my channel on what everybody else wants. I base my channel on what I feel comfortable with, and I think that's more than fair, and I know a lot of you understand that. This is one of those mosaic opal rings. These were very, very popular starting in the late 70s and going into the 1980s, 1990s. Those are all really gorgeous natural opal, and in sterling silver. I had one very similar to this recently, and I sold it immediately. Sterling silver mounting, and I do love that kind of bow knot design on the sides. And I forgot to welcome all of you in. I just wanted to jump into this, and I was kind of calm and normal. There's nothing calm and nothing normal about me. You already know that. This is a diamond band in 14 karat gold. Absolutely, really, really beautiful. I have one like it in platinum, but this one is in gold. So I got that from a dealer. And then from the same dealer, I got, let's see, it's the bigger of the two. It's this one that I got from the same vendor. And that one is diamonds in 14 karat white gold. And then this is the smaller version, diamonds in 10 karat gold. And I've often said that 10 karat gold is great because it doesn't wear as much, and you don't have to get the prongs redone as frequently. But there you go for the profile, and absolutely wonderful. I love that. The traffic is starting to really increase on my street because people are starting to wake up. Oh, and this one is amethyst and sterling. a very large size. I think that's about a size 10. Maybe it's an 11, but those are really beautiful amethysts. So that's all I found. And someone may say, well, I would be delighted with one of those. I understand. And then this is just a big conglomerate of, I think this was, I want to say it was last summer. I think this starts last summer. All of this starts last summer. And unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to process any of this. So you're seeing it just as I bought it, and I will be honest and say I don't know exactly what we're going to get into. But this has been with me for a long time, and I'll process it with you now. Why not take a look? These are genuine turquoise nuggets. And I think these came from Rogers Flea Market, I think these were, yeah, this is when I was, in a past video I had shown these. These are from Rogers Flea Market. These are not stabilized and not color treated turquoise. So those are natural turquoise nuggets and a very long strand. Really beautiful. And the lady that I bought these from was just delightful. She really, really was very, very kind. She was very, very nice to deal with. I bought a tremendous amount of stuff from her. And then I think there was something else from her. It might be down underneath all of this. And let me get this out of the way, because some people say they don't like to see things, obstructing their vision of what we're going to talk about. And I liked this because although dusty and dirty, I can get this cleaned up, no problem. But again, I'd rather just show you the way the things come in and then say, yes, I clean all of these. And yes, I process all of these. But why I love this is because the little plastic solds. So I have, when I do my local shows, I do like to keep track of the items that are sold. So once something sells, I put this in its place, and it just keeps everything. Oh, that one's upside down. There we go. Now I feel better about that. And I like to have these, so when I do sell a ring out at one of my shows or the flea market, I'm able to keep track of what I sell. So there's that. Let's get that out of the way. Let's put this over here. And then this was $7. This one was $7, and it's sterling silver and lapis. And I said absolutely, because it is so beautiful and so well made. So I said absolutely yes, because very delicate in sterling. And I'm not sure how sometimes I get to be so lucky when I go out looking. But as soon as I saw that, I didn't even unbag it. I just said, yep, we're doing that. So that was $7. And then there was a sister piece to this that I think was, maybe it was Moonstone. And I think the Moonstone one might have been 8 or 10. I don't think it's in here. These were just a riot. These I had to have. And I wasn't able to sell these years and years and years ago. These never sold. But look at these for plastic earrings from the late 1950s and into the 1960s. Look at the size of those. Rhinestone and plastic, like that rubberized plastic. All the stones are there. It's in wonderful condition. And again, look at the construction of what someone had to go through to rivet those flowers on and to have the clip backs work so perfectly. And look at the size of those. My hands are huge. Can you imagine? It would take up the whole side of your head. Really remarkable and so much fun. And now I sell these for a small fortune. But it's the ebb and flow of business. Years ago, these probably sold for $8 to $10, at most, because they were, quote, just fun, Now they sell for a lot. I think the last pair I had wasn't as big, and I still got, I think I got $60 for the last pair. This was $5, and this is Hope, Faith, and Charity, carved mother of pearl, probably Victorian. So Hope, Faith, and Charity, the cross, the anchor, and the heart for $5. Oh no, I have a bug on me. Oh no, it just went in my shoe. Hold on. I'm not one of those people that freaks out by insects, but that was literally the size of Mothra. Do you remember Mothra from Godzilla? That huge moth that fought Godzilla and almost won? That's exactly what landed on my leg just now. It was so big. It was like almost like a pterodactyl. I don't know what that was. It was prehistoric of some sort. That's all I know. These are angel skin coral, and these are Victorian. These were $1. And as you all know, angel skin coral is extremely expensive now, especially Victorian. Great luster, great polish. I hope you're enjoying Junk in the Trunk episode 2 because there's a whole lot more junk in the trunk to go. These are the military wings. Most of these were Army. Some were like paratrooper. Some were, specific jobs per se, or areas that they served in. I think these are always around the 40s, I believe. I think these are always like around 1940, 1950. I absolutely loved these, and sterling silver on those. I do have a pair that was made by, is this the Moonstone one? I think this is the Moonstone one I got for 10. Let me take a quick peek. Oh, this is the Moonstone one, but I think this is a part of a bracelet. But look at those for bezel set Moonstone and sterling silver. And it's just a portion of a bracelet. So I thought, wouldn't that be cool as a pendant? If you could mount it that way and have it be a long pendant on a chain. Oh, there's one missing, but that's okay. I can bezel set another, or just take that out of there. And as a silversmith, you couldn't pay me to construct this. Wow, look at this in the sunlight. This is so beautiful out in the sunlight. All right, so that I think this one was 10, I think it was. There's no thing on the bag. That's all right. Let's put that out of the way. We'll go over that later. This is a 1940s brooch and sterling silver with that large crystal. Again, these were very hard to sell for a long time, and now they're getting easier to sell. If they're Trifari, Marcel Boucher, Reja, Eisenberg, that will drive the price. This one was only marked sterling. I don't know why this is in there. Oh, these were those little celluloid flowers. I remember this, but look, the celluloid's getting sick because that metal pin stem is reacting with the celluloid. Yeah, that's unfortunate. There's really no way to stop that. People had asked me before, how do you stop that? And I go, take the pin back off, but then what do you do? So there's got to be a way to keep that from happening. And I still haven't quite figured it out. For those that collect celluloid. That little bug is back on my leg. Hold on. Actually, it wasn't the same bug. It was another one. And it was much, much smaller. So I didn't freak out as bad. But I know you're not here to hear about the bugs on my legs. But it's true. I think this is Miriam Haskell. I think that's Miriam Haskell. Yeah, that is. This stuff is so dirty. This stuff is so, so dirty. And then this. Yeah, all day long. All day long. That should be the screenshot for Junk in the Trunk episode 2, because this is far from junk. This is sacred and fabulous and just so beautiful. Missing the little stand, likely some sort of silver. Definitely incredible with that little compartment. So that's brass. You can see the wear there on that, but this front panel might be. Nope, that's still got wear, so that's brass, silver plated. I do have one in 800 silver. I just love this. Look at the detail, the Madonna. That is absolutely gorgeous. That'll find a home very easy. Whole bunch of rhinestone things, and people always say, can you slow down and show us everything? And I go, nope, I can't. I just won't do it. Oh, these were diamonds. I remember this. These were, quote, poor quality diamonds for $95. 3.36 carats. Let's take a quick peek. Let's look at this. Here, let me get situated in the back of the car. And again, thanks again so much. I'm so grateful for all of you having patience with me, listening to me get distracted by bugs on my legs. Oh, I remember these. Look at these babies. Now I remember. See, but I haven't seen these for 6 months. Look. They're all really, really old, antique, dirty, nasty diamonds that are really poor quality, but I need these for restorations on old things. Look at those. Let's go in on those. Because people reach out to me all the time and they say, hey, I have this, brooch from the, late 1600s, and I heard you're the guy. I heard you're the go-to for early cut stones. And I go, I most certainly am the go-to. These aren't that early, but some are very, very old, antique, pre-1900. by quite a bit on some of those, the way they're faceted. The proportions of antique diamonds has always fascinated me, even as a young child when I would study them. You know, the crown being so much taller than now, and the table being so much smaller, and the depth of the stone, that pavilion just going on forever, and then having that bottom facet, the culet being faceted off of it, has always really impressed me. A little locket, sterling silver. Ooh, a Satsuma pin, but missing the pin back. Look how dirty my hands are. Don't care, could care less. This is a jadeite ring. Sometimes they're glass, that's jadeite. People are probably like, hey, wait, can you slow down and tell us the difference? I sure can. I'll do a whole video on it, you know? I'm not gonna talk about it for 5 minutes here because very confusing, needs to be in depth. Single rhinestone earring. Oh, I remember this. Yeah, this I need to do a whole bunch more research on. Very old, not sure what it's off of. You know, people will have their ideas. They'll probably leave it in the comment section and I'll go, no, you're a mile away. So this is off of, I'll have to do some research on this. And then a Crayola crayon. I mean, you know, as a collector, for me to go from this to this, I mean, come on, you know, who does that? Nobody that I know of. Oh, that Capricorn is adorable. So that's just one of the boxes that's been stashed for now, I don't even know, 6 months. Oh, this is a Mary Ellen McDermott. And if you see these are by Mary Ellen McDermott. She did them in silver, and she's an Akron artist, but she was nationally known. So if you see the little hand, almost Milagros, those are Mary Ellen McDermott. Just so you know, a little learning moment. Let me unfold my legs over here and get the feeling back in my leg. And at 51, this isn't easy to be perched up like this. I love these stickers for pricing. Those are my go-to for pricing stickers. When I price things to sell local, those are my go-tos. Celluloid and rhinestone. Yeah, that was a for sure yes. Look at that, baby. That was $1. So a lot of these, you know, they're not thought of because someone goes, oh, they're just plastic. Well, yeah, it's still just plastic, but that's so old. I would say that size, I could probably still get 45, you know, from an advanced collector. This was interesting. Some gentleman told me it had something to do with the railroad, and I guess I could Google translate this. It probably has something to do with like the brake system on a railroad. That's my guess. This is antique. So this would be probably, you know, I'm guessing around 100 years old. I'm guessing. This is counter enamel on that steel. And look at that for that incredible enamel fired on. And you can see that that's enamel. See where the glass is all chipped off in the corners, where that would have been affixed to a train or to a station. But I think that this has something to do with the brake system on a train. At least that's my guess. And it says alarm, alarmy, alarmy. Oh, I love to do that. Just like ordinary Chardonnay, alarmy. All right, so we'll get that out of there. And then a dirty ring thing, just to upset all the people that don't like all the dust and dirt. There you go. Focus on that. Focus on the breadcrumbs and dog fur. I don't care. And then this one, I remember this too. This was $2 or $3. I have got to stand up. This leg is definitely numb now. So, okay. You know, it's tough to be 51. I could have done this much better in my 30s. Look at that for petty point. Petty point embroidery, and then look at that top. Absolutely wonderful clamper. That's late 1940s on this version. But look at the gradation of that petty point. Can you imagine, likely a lady that did this, can you imagine the patience that would have taken to get that done? And it's so beautiful, and the spring is all there, set in brass. Look at that front edge, though. Remarkably well done. Let me prop myself up over here. And you know what I should do? You know what I am going to do? I'm going to pause 1 second, and I'm going to resituate myself here, because it's all about Jason's self-care today. Hold on. And thank you so much for letting me adjust. I should make it say, this will be the thank you. Thank you so much. All right. So, yeah, I'm still crazy in the mornings because I think people think, oh, he's got to get warmed up before he gets completely bonkers. That's not true. Now, the watch people out there in the world, I don't know what to say to you, all of you advanced collectors, because I'm simply not. But this bag was $50. They sold it to me for $30. And there was one in here that I sold for. There was a porcelain face one. I had two of them, and I sold one for $18. So I'm already halfway home. There's another one sandwiched down in here. I'm sure all of you want me to spill all those out and take my time. Let's look at this one, though. Let's look at this. And let's see what we have here. Oh, I remember. Yeah, I think this is the one that had some of the better antique versions in there. So there's some wear and some chips to the enamel, but that's to be expected. Watch crystals. I have a collection of watch crystals I bought out an old jewelry store. Ooh, look at this one. Uh-oh, yeah. And there was, I'll tell you, someone would say, well, why would you care about pocket watch faces and watch faces? I had a watch face one time. Not going to get into specifics, because I don't do that on my channel sometimes for safety's sake, but I had a watch. Look at those. Look at how cool those are. Yep, in this old box with some small ones down in there. I love that. Look at that. That old box has me crazy. Anyways, I sold a watch face for $2,200, and I sold a bezel off of a watch, which is, the piece that goes around the crystal is the bezel. And I sold a watch bezel one time for, I think it was $3,800, and I had bought it for like $5 at an estate sale. Those, I'll tell you, those deals really kept me on the map, because people have said to me, well, how have you afforded? Oh, I remember this, but one crystal needs to be fixed. Look at this for sterling. This was, they charged me $20 for this, and I loved the construction of that in sterling. And, there's my ring of choice today. I always wear my big diamond. Well, I decided to switch it up and go with turquoise this morning. But before I go anywhere, I'll have my big diamond on. Because it makes me happy. See, that one's chipped. So I need to pull that out and get another one in there. But look at that for pave. Isn't that a unique mounting? I always love artistry in the way things are constructed. And as a silversmith, boy, that's a lot of work to pave set those with the little beads in between and not break any. I'm surprised I didn't break more than one. An arrowhead that's a reproduction. Again, people say, how do you know? Well, I've been around it for a long time. The stone is wrong. The form is wrong. It's too new. It's too chalky. It's just new. It's just new all day long. I don't get fooled anymore. I used to, but I don't get fooled anymore on that. Native American, and absolutely gorgeous beads, 2 strands. So those are great for the pendants that sometimes I don't have beads for. And this one was interesting. This one, this is Tibetan right here. And I don't think that's stone. I think that is probably acrylic. Yeah, that's definitely not stone. It's made to look like coral. But they did an okay job, but they just didn't get there quite. They didn't get there. And it doesn't have a tremendous amount of age. And then these spikes, these like stone spikes are really cool. But look at those. Some of these might be sterling. So I'm going to have to double check. But this is definitely an acrylic. You can just tell it's got that thump to it. And it definitely, it's too, see how that kind of craquelure or that finish is like too regulated in a way, and that definitely wouldn't be the finish of, that's definitely like a resin, you can tell that that's a resin finish. That's definitely not a stone bead. You can see that, like, did you see that I just showed you in the light that it's kind of like layered? Did you see that kind of separation in those sections? And then someone else would come on and go, oh look, that's coral. Years ago, like 30 years ago, I could have thought that was coral. But after 30 years in the business, I go, nope, totally costume. Absolutely not. A little lapel watch that's super cool. Oh, I remember this one too. Yeah, I remember getting that one. Absolutely. That was a steal. And then this one, I think, was missing the clasp. Yeah, I love this one. This one was missing a clasp. But I said to myself, oh, wait. I think part of the clasp is there. 14 karat, yeah, but it's so broken. But at least the jump ring is there. And then see the quality of good pearls as you study the dust and dirt underneath my fingernails. See that thread, that gold thread that's wrapped around that fiber that cotton or silk cord. See how they finished that? That is a sure sign of more quality pearls. Look at that strand. And this was, I think this was $5, I think. And look at those. Look at the color of them. Now that was a win, you know? And that was a great day. And I'll tell you, a lot of this came from one of the same dealers out there. And I just said, how much for the whole container? It was one of those kind of days because I just wasn't in the mood to stay out there forever. Dragon's Breath and then an art glass, almost like an opal. But those are all Dragon's Breath stones, those 4. And then those blue and green are just as fabulous. So those are like the blue and green Dragon's Breath. Let someone come for me on that one. So, because they don't have a name yet. You know, everything has to have a name. And then everyone has to fight with each other. You know, they all have to go, well, I'm the Dragon's Breath expert. No, you're not. Keep your pants on. So, when you've been doing it for over 30 years, let someone else call you an expert. Don't just self-anoint yourself an expert. That just gets totally annoying. It really does. And so many of my historian friends that have been at it for 40 and 50 years, they still don't call themselves an expert, but I refer to them as experts because they are. They've earned the title because they've, you know, just because you've been in it the longest, that's not what I'm saying. But, you know, when you have great experience and you don't make mistakes or you make few mistakes, this one's signed right there. And I had one like this not too long ago. Sold right away. Oh, this. Let's see what's in the Tiffany box. Oh, besides a dry rotted rubber band. When people say, well, I don't trust your sorts. They don't seem authentic to me. Well, they're authentic. You can trust me on that one. I guess just some loose pearls, a watch face, brooch, a bezel off of a pocket watch. Oh, and then this marble, though. Yeah, I remember buying this box. This is from another dealer. I think I got everything for $5. That was an absolute yes. Give me a break, right? Handmade German, pre-1900 glass marble, peppermint swirl, and divided ribbon core if you want to go crazy and start throwing terms around about marbles. This was adorable. I got 3 of these. Let's see if it's complete. I got 3 of these. Yeah, it is. Look at the little paintbrush and little paint kit for a kid. It's just too cool. You know, can you imagine being a kid and having that? I remember as a child my little craft things, and I loved them. 2 miscellaneous earrings and a disgusting earring tree. So I'll probably have to repaint this earring tree, but those are sterling silver. Quite interesting. Let's go in on this side because I keep neglecting this side. So this is a Siam and sterling silver bracelet. There you go. We'll drive by that one. Needs to be cleaned up just a little bit. I usually just rub this with a soft cloth and then somehow bring the finish up on the figures just a little bit. So we'll leave that there. I don't know what this tag is to. $40 for what? What did I spend $40 on? Oh, I didn't. I remember these now. See, but this is, look at that peridot and sterling, and then that fire opal and sterling. Yeah, those are going to come to a bully run sale for sure, and I love that box. So those will come to a bully run sale. I remember this little egg. Look at this Russian egg, and this is an old one. And unfortunately, some of the enamel is a little messed up on it, but that's okay. Look at that for a Russian egg. Look at the little hallmarks up there. So I'll tell you too, I had 3 Fabergé eggs. I still have 2 left. I sold 1. And I did sell it to a small private museum, and I sold it for a substantial amount. I bought them all at the pawn shop, and each egg was under, I think they were under $100 each. But look at that for enameling. That's definitely a Russian egg. Too bad about the enameling loss on there. But at least the front is in good shape. Absolutely super cool. So pay attention to miniature things when you're shopping. Deco earring backs. Sterling silver and loose stones. That's interesting. A little Polly Pocket. Look at her. Oh, another egg. I didn't remember this one. This one might be newer. Yeah, I think this one is slightly... Yeah, this one's much newer. That looks like epoxy enamel. Let me look with my loupe. Give me a minute. Be right back. I want to tell you for sure. Yeah, that's epoxy enamel. But that is sterling with gold wash. Really beautiful egg though, but that's epoxy enamel. There's a difference between glossy enamel and epoxy, and you can see where that's kind of poured in and it almost feels rubbery in a way. It's just got that not glass surface. I don't know how to describe things sometimes or show you, but that's resin, resin enamel. And look at the little Polly Pocket. Let's get her in there. I think it's Polly Pocket, right? Or a little Kittles. Let's see what she's more. Oh, it's a little Kittles. Jewelry Kittles. But I still think of her as Polly Pocket. How do we get in there? How do we get her out of here? Let's see here. I'm sure people are like, I can't do your videos. I'd rather listen to people rustle plastic bags. Oh, look. Okay, so you just opened it up here. And look, there she is. There's the one and only little Kittle. And then it's snapped shut. That's a brooch. You know what? I'm going to wear that to the bank tomorrow, just to see if anyone comments. I'll have on a giant diamond ring, and I'll have that on my lapel. Let's give them something to talk about, right? Oh, there's a mirror. Glad I didn't show you that. With my big old schnoz and my big old face hanging out. I don't know. It probably caught me on camera, right? Yeah, it probably did. It's okay. It's okay. I'm okay with it. Because it's early. Oh, these were napkin rings. These were 800 silver napkin rings. I liked those. Oh, these are gold earrings. These were $5. Those are 14 karat gold and pearls. So those were $5. And they're 14 karat gold and beautiful pearls that are prong set, or I should say post set. So those were a buy. I think I'm going to call it. Now there's other stuff in this corner. Don't go too crazy on me because, oh, I remember this and I didn't know where this wound up. Bought this from a dealer out there too. Oh, hold on. Oh, I gotta go through this. Okay, so that's gonna be homework, some gold findings and some opals and pearls. But I've always told you, I always go after these things because they do make such substantial money. And I think these had the river pearls. This has the small, oh, that has the small little pearls. And those, they're all there. So I can't use that for a restoration. I have to sell it as it is. But a brooch in solid gold from 1915. I said, okay. Yeah, absolutely. I think the whole box was $50 for all of that. And there's a lot of little gold pieces. And I see a little sapphire and I see some opal. And I don't know what happened with this box. This little celluloid, I guess it just maybe got hot in the car. But boy, is that a mess. I always say, look out for your celluloid stuff because it just does not like heat at all. So I'll have to get that into another box so I don't lose any parts. I think I'm going to call it because now I woke up and, oh, this is a silver necklace. I think I got this for Jeremy. It's from Massillon. It's a little Massillon tiger. It was $1. And that's the little Massillon tiger from the football team, a little pinback button. And then some Boy Scout and Girl Scout carving, the bolo carvings. My friend Mark collects these. So if you ever see these are Boy Scout slides. They're little kerchief slides. So I could learn how to carve with a little pen knife. And then they would paint them. So JC did a great job on his eagle. And this young gentleman, whoever he was, he did a great job on his bullhead. But see, those are little slides that your kerchief goes down in there. And then those are your kerchief slides. I have some really fantastic ones in my collection. I have a full figural Indian. I don't know what the boy was thinking. The boy that did it was probably just like me. Here's another fake arrowhead. Let's show you another fakie. So the boy's probably like me because it's huge and it's a full figural Indian. Yeah, that's a total fake. Yeah, that's a fake all day long. Still beautiful, you know, still well done. Okay, so there's more down in here. We don't, oh, I got the Hope Diamond. I hope it's real. That's just a CZ. But yeah, always take the chance though. And then down in here, look at what's the next one gonna be. Oh God, the next junk in the trunk is just gonna be fantastic. All right, I'm going to call it. I'm going to wish you all a wonderful day. I hope you enjoyed the second episode. I hope it was quick enough without being too quick. I think I feel so much better when I do these. And I hope you enjoy it with your morning coffee or your evening treat before you go to bed. I just want to say thank you so much for making my YouTube dreams come true. You're a great big part of it, and I really do appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much. I'm going to leave you with the fact that I love you because I absolutely 100% do.